Hey, how you doing? My name is Mr. Leo. I am a psychotherapist by trade as well as a business person, but preferably I like to think of myself as a life coach. And today I wanted to talk to you briefly about a couple things that I feel are just fundamentally necessary for you to overcome any type of mental health disorder or emotional disorder, or get through any kind of transition period that you're going through in your life, in which you just feel like, what, I can do better, I need to do better. So I have 5 basic points to make, but before I begin, I want to start out by sharing something that I read pretty often, and it goes like this: you reap what you sow. This is the most common truth on earth. You put an apple seed into the ground, you get an apple tree. An orange seed produces an orange tree. If you invest, your money will grow. If you eat right and exercise, you will lose weight. If you are kind to others, they will be kind to you. With that being said, I feel like the first thing that people need to do, and for one of the first things that I do when I work with a new client or a consumer or a patient of mine, is I really think about and I really ask questions towards their physical health. As a former athlete and the current person who likes to stay in shape and just understands the importance of just physically being in shape, I feel like people don't really understand that, you have a lot of impure, dirty things that are going on inside your body that you have to work out. And also, when you're talking about changing your life, you're talking about changing your reality, you're talking about just doing something that you haven't done before on a higher, more positive level. The easiest thing to begin to work on is your physical body. I don't want to get too biblical or religious, but it's almost like you have to kill your flesh. You have to kill it because you're wrapped in it, and it's your flesh, your skin, your physical person is the person that meets all the adversity, challenges that you run into every day. It's the first line of defense. So if it's not tough, if it's not ready, if it's not well taken care of, you can't even get to the mental or the spiritual or the emotional parts of your arsenal, your offense or defense, because your flesh, your body just is not ready for the battle. So the first thing that I try to coach people on is you need to address whatever physical ailments you're dealing with. Now, I'm not a proponent of psychotropic medication when it comes to mental health, but I am a proponent of sustaining the person, the client, first. You need to sustain yourself to get yourself in the state of mind, in the physical state of mind, that you can now receive what it is that myself or other individuals that are supporting you are going to implant or pour, mentor into your life. The second thing is your mental change. Once you physically have changed who you are and the dynamics of your physical being, your self-confidence rises. You feel better, you look better. People on the outside, they receive you better, whether it's you losing weight or you're gaining weight or you're toning up or you're toning down, whatever the case may be. People notice your physical change, and when they notice your physical change, that automatically puts you in a more positive opportunity or a more positive sense of, now it's time for me to start receiving success in my life. So the second part is the mental change, and that's when I come in. That's where a therapist or a life coach comes in, and we start. I start really using a technique called flooding. Right? It's basically when you just submerge or immerse a person into nothing but just positive thoughts. And I usually do that with my clients through a lot of daily text messages, emails, blogs. I give them homework in terms of go to my website, go to the blog page and, just read, go to the inspirational page on my website and listen to some of the gospel music or maybe even go to the other page. I know I got a lot of pages, right? Go to the next page and just really listen to some of the people discuss how they became successful, right? Some of the motivational videos. and do this on a daily basis, all day, every day. You know, in my faith, you know, it's called praying, right? You go and you pray 4 and 5 and 6 times a day, however often you need to. You have that direct line with God, and you just talk back and forth with Him. So whatever your faith is, whatever your spirituality is, whatever your belief is, the mental part of you know, is being dealt with when you emerge or you just flood yourself in a lot of positive thoughts. Okay. In addition to the positive thoughts, you also have to educate yourself in terms of what's going on with you. You know, if you're suffering from depression, well, you need to really sit here and learn about depression, right? And I offer that through, or again, going to my website, leobryantTherapy.com. You really just listen, watch the YouTube videos. You know, go to the library, research, or your therapist or your life coach. They give you articles, or they impart knowledge to you. You know, just through the conversation about what it is that's making you depressed, or what it is that's causing you your ADHD or your oppositional defiance disorder, or your relationship baggage, whatever that case may be, to bog you down, to weigh you down. So once you educate yourself on what it is that is weighing you down, in addition to you physically becoming stronger, now you're getting somewhere. And that leads to my third point. Then you can change your spiritual person, right? Now everybody has, I feel like the main difference between humans and any other species is we have a spirit within us. And this spirit in different cultures has been classified and given titles as different things. But for the most part, the spiritual man, I like to reference it as 3 cups. You know, you have 1 cup, your physical cup, the second cup, your mental cup, and then the third cup, your spiritual / emotional cup. Now, that third cup is paramount in that it deals with what Freud calls your super ego. You got 3 levels. You have your id, your ego, and your super ego. The id is just the most primitive part of yourself. You know, you want to have sex, or you want to eat, or you want to breathe, or whatever the case may be. So you just do it because that's in you. You know, baby, when they're born, you know, they're hungry, so they cry and they latch on to a breast or a bottle, whatever the case may be, and they feed. That's it. That's the most primitive level. Next, you have the ego. That's you know, in religion they call it your flesh. You know, that's pretty much when, you know, I want to be rich, I want to be famous. You know, I want to have monetary things. You know, I want to be somebody of importance. So it's, you know, that's that level. And then the third level is your super ego, and that's what I'm talking about now. This is pretty much what makes you civilized, right? This is when you go to church, you know, growing up, or you study a certain, you know, spirituality of some sort, and it tells you, okay, if I rob this person, I'm going to go to jail. If I rob this person, you know, karma comes back and it may bite me, you know, in the behind or what have you, and, you know, what goes around comes around. So you got your 3 cups. Once you're really focusing on keeping all those cups full, you're progressing to a more positive place in your life. And that brings me to my 4th and 5th point. Your emotional person changes. So if you're depressed, you're not depressed anymore. Or at least you understand your depression, and you're actively working to change that part of your being. And it's easy because you got your physical, mental, and spiritual person in alignment. So now you can make that change. And then the last and most final thing, which is our final product, is your reality changes. You've heard books about The Secret, or you've heard different people talk about, you know, what you think is ultimately what's going to be your reality, or you got to speak into existence, you know, what you want to see come to pass. Well, once you get your 3 cups lined up, your physical, mental, and spiritual, as well as you become in tune with your emotions, now, in essence, your life changes. That's all I want to talk about today. Those are the 5 points. So I'll be posting these videos periodically, as well as using them in my own sessions, just as a warm-up, in terms of just getting started on your path to success and reality, or whatever it is your purpose is with working with myself or a therapist. God bless. Have a good one.